Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. Yesterday, you may have seen I put up a very short, I think something like 3 minutes, a video from the farm, Biggleswick Farm, where Julia and I have purchased our little piece of God's England, and we're doing our best to turn that into an area of growth, I suppose, bit of self-sufficiency, growing our own vegetables and looking after the landscape. And we had a fantastic couple of days there, spent the night in the van, and we had a visitation by our friend Costas, who very kindly came over. He's a pipe smoker, and together we were both enjoying the pipe and enjoying conversation and talking about all sorts of different things. Anyway, I'm back now today, and then, we're sort of here, there and everywhere really at the moment, and so we'll be back on the land very soon. And the English couple, if it's not up already, it will be up very shortly. The lovely Julia is in control of the knobs on that, and she will fire that up and you can tune in and see our progress. So thank you very much for subscribing and tuning into the English couple. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about our thoughts. Julia and I have been incredibly lucky with the land that we've purchased and where we are. And a lot of people will say, well, that's luck, as I just alluded to just now myself. But is it luck? Or is it that actually we have had those thoughts in our minds for a very long time? And over time, those thoughts crystallize and they start to become fact, or they are manifest. They become creation in and of themselves. Now, I know in the past when I've spoken about this sort of thing, there are those people, quite rightly, who are skeptical and go, but that's all nonsense. Your thoughts can't create things, can't change the universe, can't bring you those things that you concentrate on. They're just thoughts. And I understand that, because that is, of course, what we're all brought up to believe. We're all brought up by the television, mainstream media, by conversations that we have that actually, on the whole, we're not terribly clever or creative people, that spirituality, manifestation, the thought transference, all those sort of things are a bit woo-woo, a bit off the table and a bit strange. And we live in a practical, very logical world. Science is the thing that we should be adhering to, not faith, belief, religion, myth and legend. That's all old hat. People, stupid, thick people in the past believed in these sort of strange stories and myths and those sort of things, but not us, because we're very sophisticated, cultivated, urbane, and we know that logic and science is the way forward. But is it? Is it really? And do we really understand what is going on when we think? I don't think so. I mean, I think some people do kind of understand. To me, thoughts are very precious things, and we have to be very careful what we think, because it has been my observation over the last 62 years. And this is where we can look back ourselves individually and examine, were we right with this idea of science and logic, and then on one hand, and myth, legend, spirituality, woo-woo, and all those sort of things, mental psychology, etc. I now can look back and go, actually, the times when I felt negative, for example, negative things happened. When you tell yourself, oh, I think I've got a cold, or I'm likely to get a cold, you're more than likely to get a cold or detox. If you stay positive and keep your vibrations high and believe that life is wonderful, things are getting better, that you are healthy, wealthy, wise, those sort of things. If you're keeping those thoughts in your mind, then I believe, and I know, it is my conviction that that is what happens. And it can, because we have scattered thoughts most of the days, we're up and down all over the place, we don't sort of concentrate our thoughts in any one direction for very long. We, of course, as I've mentioned many times, get diverted. And it does seem that that is what those that would like to control us or keep control over us want us to be diverted into a myriad of actually nonsense ideas, thoughts and things, particularly worry, getting us concerned about wars overseas, about racial hatred and problems, about taxes, money, paying bills, and all those sort of things. And we switch ourselves over into all those sort of different areas, and we concern ourselves greatly on those. But what we tend to forget is the most important things. Our thoughts are very powerful. And I know this, and we're now on our land at Biggleswick Farm, and it is a wonderful experience, and we are hoping to inspire people by showing you that it's possible to grow stuff when you have very little experience in this area, to have a piece of land, to construct things, to make a life that is simple, slow and happy, and not having to chase all the things that we're encouraged to chase by the mainstream media. All this upgrade here, make sure you buy this, buy two, all those sort of things that we're being encouraged to do by big corporations who want to keep us working so we continue to earn money, so we can buy all this junk that does not make you happy. The other night, Julia and I sat in our field at Biggleswick Farm round a fire, small fire, just the two of us. Not much was spoken. We cooked a lovely meal, and the moon came out from behind scudding clouds. It was just so beautiful. And we sat there till 10:30, 11 o'clock. And it gets dark around 5 o'clock now here on this landmass we call Britain at this particular moment, if you're measuring time by the, the Greenwich Mean Time or British Summer Time, whatever it is. When you have a piece of land and you're staying on the land from time to time, we slept in the van because we were just visiting, of course. But when you're doing that, time is kind of irrelevant. It's daylight hours and nighttime hours. But we were doing a little bit of gardening by moonlight because the moon was actually quite bright, and we were able to go around and inspect those things that we've got growing, the peas and beans and our tobacco plants and various things, to see how they're doing and just correct a few things and all of that. And it was just magical and away from all the nonsense of, we weren't putting on our phones. We weren't reconnecting with the world. We were in our space, and it felt very healthy. And we were concentrating our thoughts on the beauty of life, of the beauty of being, the beauty of happiness, and what little you really need to be happy. Our thoughts are very powerful, and they do create our environment, our future. And you can see where people's thoughts, which have been whipped up into a frenzy, are creating, for some, and for many really, an environment and an existence which is intolerable. But if only people understood how powerful they were and how powerful their thoughts were, perhaps they would be very careful, very guarded what thoughts they have, and eradicate those negative thoughts and keep the positive ones. Keep them burning and keep looking after those as you would a newborn baby. For those thoughts that you have are so powerful, so strong, and will create a whole new future if you are able to switch off all the digital nonsense and understand who and what you are, and then things will improve. Thank you very much for watching. If you are interested, I was looking there to pick up one of my books because I had a box just there earlier, but I've shunted it somewhere else. But if you're interested in a copy of Biggleswick, The Town That Wouldn't Comply, my book, which is now out, a lot of people have been interested in it and many have read it, and they've come back to me and they said things like it was well written, heartwarming, funny in places. As somebody said they didn't agree with all the truth bombs that are in there, and that's fine. He said, but I didn't expect to agree with everything, but I love the book. And so that's really nice, and thank you so much to those people who have purchased the book. And if you'd like to, just email me, richard@vobes.com, and I'll tell you how you can get one. I'm off to the post office shortly to post the next batch, so maybe yours is among them. Thank you for watching. See you next time.